The morning show here on Arise News. In reaction to the withdrawal of an invitation earlier extended to Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai to be a speaker at the 60th Annual Conference of the Nigerian Bar Association, a factional body, the new Nigeria Bar Association, has written to the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, to inform him of his existence. The letter partly reads, and I quote, "We're pleased to inform you of the formation of a new association of lawyers, as above captioned. The formation of the new association has become imperative and expedient, especially flowing from the activities, disposition, and most recently the decision of the Nigerian Bar Association National Executive Committee, which apparently failed to take into consideration our national interests and particularly do not promote the unity of our indissoluble country, Nigeria. Sir, the new Nigerian Bar Association believes in the ideals that bind our country together, as echoed in our national anthem. The labors of our heroes past shall never be in vain. You are, however, to be further informed that work is in progress with regards to all the nitty-gritty of the formation of an association such as this, to which we shall keep you updated." End of quote. Meanwhile, Chief Michael Zekome, senior advocate of Nigeria, said most members of the NBA would not allow the aggrieved lawyers to establish a parallel NBA. Joining us now to try to make sense of it all is Onyekachi Ubani, a former second vice president of the Nigerian Bar Association and also a former chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association Ikeja branch in Lagos. Welcome to the program, Ubani Esquire. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ruben Abati. Thank you for having me.
Yes, good morning. Well, you must have listened to my quite lengthy introduction. Now, we have a group, two conveners from the northern part of the country, saying that they are going to establish a new national Nigerian Bar Association in line with, as they argue, their rights under Section 40 of the Constitution. The senior lawyers, most of them coming from the inner bar, have said this will not stand and that the idea of a new Nigerian Bar Association is unacceptable. What's your own take?
Yeah, thank you once again for having me. We must recognize the fact that the freedom to associate is a guaranteed right. And nobody is questioning the right of anybody to come together to form any association. But it all depends on what manner of association are you forming. If you are forming an association that will be at variance with the one that is already in existence, that is Nigerian Bar Association, which is the only professional body that regulates the practice of law in Nigeria, that particular act will be practically impossible at this juncture. So there are so many things that needed to be done for any parallel body to exist with Nigerian Bar Association. Presently, what we have today is Nigerian Bar Association. It's recognized by the Legal Practitioners Act and has also been acknowledged by a lot of judicial jurisprudence, both Court of Appeal and Supreme Court, that is the only body today that can regulate the entry and punishment of lawyers. And so if any person is forming another association, one, you have to cross the hurdle of registration with the Corporate Affairs Commission. And I'm too sure that no Registrar General will register another new Nigerian Bar Association, because that is a name that is likely to mislead and calculate as fraudulent, because there is already in existence Nigerian Bar Association. So if you add the word new, there is no Registrar General that will actually register any other association that is close in name. Then secondly, you have to amend the Act itself in order to bring that particular parallel body into existence. So to me, it is just clearly dead on arrival. Those guys needed to be known by Google, and I think they have made themselves very popular now, being known. But as for the possibility of having a parallel NBA body, I am saying it here with every sense of responsibility, that many lawyers, many senior lawyers, many junior lawyers from the northern part of the country, from the southern part of the country, will not in any way, at this point in time, tolerate any parallel body that is at variance with Nigerian Bar Association. Do we have problem in Nigerian Bar Association? Just like every other human institution in this country, we have issues. And we can only solve those issues by coming together to look at those issues critically and try to resolve them, especially on the two issues they mentioned. They talked about there is issue of election. Election also brought out some people trying to say they want to form a parallel body. We have to look at our electoral process and try to sanitize it and make it a bit more efficient and more transparent. Yes, we can. And the issue of somebody who is not a member of NBA that was actually invited and disinvited, there was an issue. The technical committee that actually put out the name and in the first place shouldn't have done that, except they bring that matter before the NEC. It's after NEC have cleared the name of speakers, you can now go ahead and write to the person that you want to invite. But this was not the situation. They had already written for the governor, El-Rufai, and before this matter was brought before NEC. And NEC, in their wisdom, through majority decision, said, no, we cannot have this particular person whose antecedent is at variance with what the NBA stands for. And it's a privilege, not a right. You can invite any person at any point in time. You can also say, I don't want you in my program. So I don't see any problem there, where people are now reading a lot of meaning into it. So it's clearly unnecessary at this point in time. What is going on is clearly unnecessary, is uncalled for, and it's very irritating, very, very irritating.
I can imagine how that feels for you. But would you agree to those who say, from what you have just said, that the leadership of the association provoked this reaction by disinviting the governor of Kaduna State? And also, did it come to you as a surprise? Because many would say this is a reflection of the larger society, where we are divided along ethnicity, religion, you know, those lines, those blurry lines. Was it really a surprise to you?
Yeah, as I said earlier, the mistake that was made in this circumstance was from the technical committee that was actually assigned the responsibility of planning for the conference. In every, when I was the chairman of a branch, NBA Ikeja branch, if you form a committee, and a committee is, inviting any person or even the topic that will be discussed at any of the conferences or whatever program you are having, you have to resort back to the leadership to look at the people you are inviting. They have to approve it before you go ahead to invite. So the technical committee did not, do the proper procedure by resorting to the leadership. And so when this name was published, the name of El-Rufai and some others were published, there was this uproar. People, I was outraged. Why would you invite somebody whose antecedent is clearly at variance with what MB stands for, rule of law, somebody who has, in his own statement several times has made statement that's contrary to what NBA, stands for in his ideal. And so they had to meet. NEC met, and NEC now decided. And NEC, let me inform you, comprised of entire leadership of the branches, of 120-something branches we have in the country. They're made up of chairmen and secretaries, and then senior advocates of Nigeria. In fact, the top echelon of the legal profession are members of the NEC and the second highest ruling body of the NBA. So that decision was taken in NEC, in which every branch participated. So it's not as if a few people, from any region sat and now decided that El-Rufai should not be invited. And that has to be made clear. It was a decision of the leadership of the bar, comprising all the regions of the country. So for somebody now to wake up and, because one person was disinvited, he now begins to give coloration to the disinvitation, or give it ethnic or religious, meaning. It's clearly uncalled for. For God's sake, we're lawyers. And these are people who have had the finest training, both in the university and in law school. So for somebody now to begin to attach ethnic meaning to whatever has been done to other people before, and now it's been done to this person. What is special about not inviting El-Rufai? He's a governor of Federal Republic of Nigeria, and he's one of the governors of the 36 states. So what is special about him not being invited into NBA? So let's not make a mountain out of nothing. So to me, NBA has taken a decision, and he received the approval of majority of lawyers who were in that NEC meeting. I wasn't there. So many other people were not there. But those who were there took that decision on behalf of NBA. So I'm bound by the decision of NBA. And so we shouldn't begin to make a mountain out of it. The issue of writing to the Attorney General, is it the Attorney General now that will give life to a parallel body? Has it now become the Corporate Affairs Commission, or has it become the National Assembly that will amend the law? So what is actually going on? I don't think this is clearly allowed. This should not be tolerated by lawyers. And I have so many lawyers in the north they are clearly miffed at this particular position being taken by these two lawyers. And I think the NBA should look into the name of these lawyers and probably bring them to order. It's important we do this.
But Mr. Ubani, a lot of people are saying, why didn't the NBA just allow, the governor speak? Because you could have interrogated his thought process. You could have heard his own side. There's a right of free speech. You could have, given him the chance. A lot of people have gone ahead to say this. In fact, somebody that moderated the panel session during one of the panels at the NBA did say this. You could have given him a chance to speak. And if you want to have a reporter, you could have had the reporter there, interrogated that. You now saying somebody cannot speak. I mean, it speaks volumes.
Yeah, that is a very intelligent question you have just asked. As I said earlier, the moment the TTCP, the technical committee, put out the name of El-Rufai, there was this uproar, by the constituency. And so the matter was brought before NEC by the then president, Mr. Paulo, senior advocate of Nigeria, and then it was debated. Now, the issue is that, they could have allowed him. But the majority of lawyers that was in that NEC meeting felt otherwise, that he should not be given our platform, for him to speak.
Why?
And that is the decision of the majority. Let me finish, sir. That's the decision of the majority. As I said earlier, I may have a different opinion. I would have, if I'm there, my own position would have been, okay, allow him, maybe we can interrogate him. But if the majority of lawyers who were at that NEC meeting felt otherwise, then he should not be given our platform within which to probably, say whatever he wants to say. So be it. So we must abide by that. We must abide by that decision of the majority. So I don't want a situation where we now make the issue of El-Rufai look as if it's something that is spectacular. The whole country now must collapse because one man was disinvited to a platform, given a platform in NBA. No, we shouldn't make that look like, I agree with you that you could have also been given that opportunity. That is another perspective. Because the majority perspective was that.
But in that case, sorry, let me come in. In that case, I could have tackled the NBA by saying, you gave Tony Blair a chance to speak. Tony Blair, that a lot of people have shouted, perpetrated war crimes in some parts of the world. I could have tackled you to the NBA for doing that. And you gave Tony Blair a chance to speak in that conference. And some people will say otherwise about Tony Blair. Some people feel he should be in jail. Some people feel he has propagated war crimes.
It's a very beautiful argument. So also was President Obasanjo, former President Obasanjo, also giving the platform within which to Wike. And some people later say, look, these people should not even be allowed to. And they carefully chose not even to appear in the program. If you find out, President Obasanjo, former President Obasanjo, did not in any way address us in the conference that just ended. The same thing with Wike, the same representative. So it's an argument. As I said, even Tony Blair is also an argument. Somebody could have also said, look, let's not give Tony Blair an argument, opportunity because of social history. And if the majority say yes, we should, or we should not, then so be it. My own take is that there is no person in this world that does not have any minors in his or her life. But if the majority decision is that this person who has minors should not be given a platform, so be it. If the majority says we should, he should be given that opportunity. But what happened in El-Rufai's case, that majority of the people that were in NEC meeting said that we should not give him that opportunity. So it is majority decision. There are some minority decision also that would have said, look, let's give him that opportunity. And probably they were overruled. Majority will always have their say. Majority will always have their way, because minority will always have their say. So the position is that the majority had their way in that particular NEC meeting. And so to me, this thing is something that it shouldn't be read, meaning should not be read into it. It is the fact that NBA has ideal. What do we stand for? We stand for the rule of law. And if any person does not believe in rule of law, does not believe in the power of the judiciary to resolve legal issues, for God's sake, that kind of a person should not be invited in NBA. And so I hold that view. So, but if that majority decision now said the man should not be given an opportunity and all that, I don't think anyone begin to read any ethnic or religious meaning to it.
Well, Ubani, let's move the conversation forward. Now, is there any law that says that people cannot come together and form another lawyers' association? Because I tend to see some kind of a sense of territoriality here. Is there any law that says so? I know yesterday I was having a conversation with Onyekachi SAN, and he quoted Section 1 of the Legal Practitioners Act. He quoted the the registration of the MBA with the Corporate Affairs Commission. He also talked about the Constitution. But if you look at what happens in other jurisdictions, in the U.S., the umbrella body for a long time was the American Bar Association. But in 1925, African Americans, seeing that they were not covered by that body, there was a lot of discrimination, a lot of racism, they formed another association, the National Bar Association. Again, in 1993, a conservative, ultra-conservative wing who felt that there wasn't enough diversity in the American Bar Association formed yet another association dominated largely by blacks. Now, the truth of the matter is that the NBA is a voluntary association. There's nothing that compels any lawyer to be a member of the NBA. So why would then be this argument about, oh, you cannot form another association? Is there any rule like that? People have cited the example of ICANN and ANA and similar organizations that have, splintered.
Yeah, thank you very much for that historical incursion of what happened in Britain, in the US and other nations. I think if we want to form a parallel body, there are processes and procedure. And I'm very happy also that you mentioned the fact that part of the reason why there was a parallel body in America was the issue of non-inclusion. Now, I don't think there is issue of non-inclusion in Nigeria. There was an electoral issue that happened recently, created some level of crisis, and we also felt that we can sanitize our electoral process and make it more transparent, and which we are dealing with the president who just was running, has made a promise to interrogate previous election and then try to see what went wrong and how that can be corrected. Now, on the issue of El-Rufai, I don't think that that can be regarded as non-inclusion. For God's sake, El-Rufai is not even a lawyer in the first place, a Nigerian politician who was denied their platform because of his antecedent, and that was taken by the leadership of the NBA. Now, if there is any room for a parallel body, and there are good reasons to do it, there are processes and procedure. As I said earlier, you have to amend the act. You also have to probably choose a name different from Nigerian Bar Association. That has to be discussed and decided by the majority of lawyers who want to go their way and all that. So, but that process and procedure is not what's being followed now. Just some group of, just two young men, woke up and wrote to the attorney general. They have formed a new Nigerian Bar Association. What does that happen? When have you formed that? And where has it been registered by Corporate Affairs Commission? And you begin to give it a name. And that name does not in any way have any legal recognition. And I don't think that is the proper procedure that was adopted by those two nations or other nations you quoted now when they wanted to probably form a parallel body. There are processes and procedure. If those processes and procedure are followed, nobody is going to make a mountain out of it. So let them follow the processes and procedure and then give reason why we must form a parallel body. For now, it's only Nigerian Bar Association that you can use its seal in order to file any court process. If they're now saying they have formed a new parallel body, have they gotten a seal with which now you can file any court process? Can you do that now? Are you the one now public to recommend? Because it's only Nigerian Bar Association that can recommend now for appointment to be a judge, for you to be a senior advocate of Nigeria in this country. It's not NBA has to recommend. So is it the new Nigerian Bar Association now will be taking their recommendation now to become a son, to become a judge, and all that thing that the NBA does. So they need to tinker with the law, and that has not been done. So I don't think these guys are just flying the kite. And I think that the senior members of the bar and other leadership of the bar should call these young men to order and let's resolve our problem. But if we cannot resolve our problem and we feel that the best way out of this particular quagmire is for us to form a parallel body, I think we have to follow rules and regulations, follow the processes that is recognized by law in order to form a parallel body. For now, it's only Nigerian Bar Association. I'm saying it here on national television that recognize to have
international, please, international television, not national, international.
No, I said national.
No, yeah, I corrected you. I said international television.
Okay. This is. I'm saying this on international television. Yeah, with every sense of response. You are very correct. That it's only Nigerian Bar Association that is recognized by the IPA, International Bar Association, recognized by the African Bar Association, recognized by there's another one, Pan-African lawyers. It's only Nigerian Bar Association that is actually very recognized. It's only Nigerian Bar Association stamp and seal that is only recognized to fight any court process today. It's only Nigerian Bar Association that can recommend, lawyers who want to be judges, those who want to be senior advocates of Nigeria. So you have to do a lot of amendments in the process before you now begin to have a parallel body. Then, it's only Nigerian Bar Association that is still the only legal professional body that regulates the practice of law in Nigeria.
Well, Mr. Ubani, clearly there is a division in the association, whether anyone wants to admit it or not. But what would you say that the incoming president and his administration can do quickly to unite the association and preserve it? Also, I would like to ask you about what you expect of his tenure, because just recently he has announced that there will be an audit of the previous recent NBA elections. Do you think he has hit the ground running? Is that a good step in the right direction?
I think that Akpata is going to do well. You also take into cognizance that there was a person like Alige also who came in and did some level of changes in the NBA. Today we're enjoying some of those changes. Akpata, I think he hit the right call. One, he even asked some lawyers have been complaining about stamp and seal, and have been paying for this. The minute you pay your pricing fee, you'll be entitled to some package of the stamp and seal. And that went down well with many of the lawyers in Nigeria. I think what we need the new president to do is to ensure that all his electoral promises which he made, he will keep them, including this issue of interrogating the previous electoral processes that people have complained that even ended up in court. Let's find out what actually went wrong, how we can make our electoral process be more transparent and improve sanity in our electoral process that will give some level of confidence. Because there has always been complaint in every election. And we started the electronic system, but we can get it better. This year's election was a bit, far in terms of, ease of voting. It was better than previous years, but we can get it better by interrogating what was the complaint of the people who lost out in the election and see what we can do to get it right. Now, Akpata has a lot of job to do. There have been complaints previously. That's what where lawyers feel that, look, you pay your practice fee, you pay your branch dues, you pay all the fees, and all that. Then what are you entitled to? The issue of lawyers who are being kept out of job now through CAC, the Kama law, that has just been amended, where lawyers are no longer relevant in registration of companies. That issue. There are two issues. The issue of welfare of lawyers, the issue of basic salary for a lawyer. When you graduate from university and family service, doctors and families, lawyers have been paid anything. We should be able to canvass for pay for lawyers when you finish from law school and you finish your youth service. There are also issues of welfare. When anything happens to you, either by way of accident or death, what are your entitlement as a lawyer? So these are some of the issues, we should now begin to tackle in order to restore the confidence of lawyers in NBA. A lot of people are totally disenchanted with the Bar Association and with leadership. Most times you see so much money being spent on conferences, and meanwhile, people that contribute this money don't have any package whatsoever. Even if you are giving them things that are entitled to when they come for conferences. So the lawyers have been called, it's a Nigerian complaint. So if people are telling me they want to form a parallel body because of these complaints, I will listen to them, but not because of El-Rufai or because you lose an election. No, that cannot be a reason for us to form a parallel body. Because giving room also to other regions in the country now, actually say they want to go their own way. What's the people from the Yoruba land saying go to the Republic because Phoenix comes with the electoral system or the Afrans to say let them go their own way. We can't be doing that as lawyers. No, we should be talking about unity. We should be talking about coming together to solve our problem by looking at that problem and solving that problem rather than each way out. Oh, let's backamize. Oh, let's disintegrate. Oh, let's cause disunity. That can be done by lawyers who underwent proper training in university and have lost.
Well, thank you very much, Onyekachi Ubani. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your insights. Thank you for joining us on The Morning Show. Thank you very much indeed.